So today was a good day because I got to cook some pasta. I make pasta over here a couple times a month, and this is one of the first pastas I cook for the family I work for. They loved it, and I probably make it once a month. I started my day cleaning a bunch of clams and mussels to remove as much sand as I can by soaking them in some ice water so they stay nice and cold for about 30 minutes, strain them out, and repeat the process usually 2 to 3 times to make sure they are nice and clean. Also remove all the beards from the mussels. While those are soaking, I start prepping out the veg for my shellfish stock. I peeled a bunch of shallots and garlic using a paring knife. For the garlic, I crushed down the head of garlic on a paper towel so they break apart, and I like to soak them in some warm water to make it easier to peel. Took half of my garlic to make some garlic confit, then sliced up my shallots and remaining garlic and used a peeler to get some lemon peels. I saute my shallots and lemon peels in olive oil with some chili flakes and just a little bit of salt because there can be a lot of natural salt in the clams and the mussels. Add in my garlic and some parsley stems. Add in my clams first, then a bunch of dry white wine and allow them to steam with the lid on, just until they begin to open. Then remove them as soon as they open and repeat that process with the mussels. Then I strain out my stock twice, first through a strainer and then once more, but I strain it through a paper towel to make sure that there's no little bits of sand. This does take a while, but I think it's worth it to make sure you never get a sandy bite. And while that was straining, they asked for some lunch. They eat tomato soup for lunch at least 3 times a week, which I think is kind of crazy, but they really love it. So I always have it ready in the fridge. And they also wanted some baked brie with crackers. After I serve lunch, I deshelled all my clams and mussels. I like doing it like this so they just don't have to do any work when they're eating the dish. I also don't use the mussels in the finished dish because they don't really like to eat them, but mussels are a cheap way to add such a nice flavor to the stock. So I just end up snacking on them, or today I ate them on a piece of toast. It's a win-win situation for me. Today's salad is an Italian chopped salad situation with some romaine, spicy salami, peppercini, onion, parm, and some mozzarella, served with some creamy Italian dressing. The dressing is just made with some Kewpie mayo, red wine vinegar, Italian seasoning, lemon juice, honey, salt, pepper, and some parm, and finished with some good quality olive oil. Also made some garlic butter for garlic bread with butter, some confit garlic, raw garlic, parm, salt, pepper, and some paprika for color. Sliced up my bread and lathered it up generously with the butter. The pasta comes together really easily by sauteing some sliced garlic in a pan with olive oil and some of that garlic oil from the garlic confit. Add in some white wine and cook that down. Then add in some of my shellfish stock. Drop my pasta that's only been cooked about 75% of the way and finish cooking it in the shellfish stock, adding more stock as needed. Adding in my clams to heat through and finished with some butter, lemon juice, chives, and parsley off the heat. This pasta is always so tasty, and I think making the stock ahead of time and then cooking the pasta in the stock versus doing it all in one pan with the clams makes all the difference. Plated up my salad first for dinner with the garlic bread that was baked off in a hot oven. Plated up my pasta and finished it with a little more herbs. Then dessert was a really simple chocolate mousse that my boss has been loving. All in all, a pretty nice day of cooking.